This is a true story.
My negative choices started really, really young.
I didn't have any friends that were sober.
I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I think I'm going to be a drug addict today.
I didn't want to feel the pain I was feeling anymore.
I needed it. I had to have it.
I'm not in control. It's never enough.
He's like, here, try this. I almost lost my life.
That is my main motivator.
I don't want to go through this no more.
We do recover in Vermilion County. There's nobody who can tell me any different.
Viewer discretion is advised. The content in this video addresses sensitive topics related to drugs and alcohol and may not be suitable for all audiences. This content is intended for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered as personal medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendations. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional or a substance use disorder specialist for personalized guidance. The views and opinions expressed are those of the individuals presenting them and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Vermilion County Public Health or the Vermilion County Mental Health 708 Board.
Hello, I'm Jim Russell, and I want to welcome you again to Roads to Recovery. We want to talk a little bit more about what substance use disorder is all about. There's a difference between substance use and substance abuse and substance use disorder. I take some prescription medications on a daily basis. I'm using a substance. As long as I'm taking it according to the dosage and according to the directions, and that's fine. It could be the case, though, that for whatever reason I decide to not follow the dosage instruction. I don't take the medication correctly. I don't take the right dosage or at the right times, and that can be a substance abuse. There are people who like to have a glass of wine with dinner. That's substance use. Substance abuse would be when that same person gets fallen down drunk. Substance use disorder comes into place when a person develops a dependence upon that substance. And it doesn't have to be an illicit substance. It doesn't have to be a street drug. You can develop a substance use disorder related to alcohol. You can develop a substance use disorder related to marijuana, which is now legal in the state of Illinois. You can develop a substance use disorder related to prescription pain medication. So it doesn't matter the source of the substance or the type of substance. It matters about the dependence that a person develops on that substance. So that substance becomes their go-to when they're facing a challenge or an upset. It's something they rely upon. It's something they depend upon. It's something that's their coping mechanism when they're facing life struggles. And the substance use disorder creates a lot of upheaval and turmoil in a person's life.
Substance use disorder means it's more than just drug use itself. It's more of the dependency on it and how it affects the individual themselves. One of the types of calls that we get here in the fire department are drug overdoses, where people overdose on heroin, and we have to go there and try and revive them with Narcan. Car accidents are definitely probably the biggest ones that you see with drug abuse. Alcohol as well. We've had fires with meth labs where people have had meth labs in their house.
We have 30 to 40 people who are regulars. Probably a little over half have some type of substance disorder. We just try to recognize it and see what we can do to help.
Trauma is huge for a gateway. Those visions, those memories that, are always there. But then it's hard to come back. Now it's bigger than the trauma. It's not just in our community. It's a worldwide thing. We have to continue to talk about it.
In Vermilion County, we average between 15 and 30 substance use disorder deaths or something related to drugs. We have had some traffic crashes that have involved substance use, alcohol, cocaine. Some are accidental deaths. Last year, we had 35 drug overdose deaths. This can happen to you, so don't even start. If you get hooked on something, it's very, very hard to stop that train once it's left the station.
Substance use disorder can affect people in many different ways, but there are some consistent patterns in each of our stories. There is a cycle that substance use disorder follows, with several distinct phases. The first phase is the initial use of the substance. This can happen at any age for a variety of reasons.
I never knew that life can cause you to reach for certain things.
Mom and Dad sitting around partying. Sometimes I'd clean up the beer cans and, take a drink and I remember when I was 6 years old and I broke my arm. Instead of getting pain medication, she'd put Jack Daniels in my Pepsi.
I was like that poster child. I was a good kid. When I was a teenager, I always thought, I'm never going to be like that. At 50 years old, I started trying anything and everything that was out there.
Always looking for the next adventure. I picked up smoking cigarettes and smoking weed and drinking alcohol at 14 behind my mom's back. Finally, I fit in somewhere.
I found older people that I thought were really cool, and they taught me how to do drugs. And these people didn't care how I dressed or that my family, you know, was poor, that my dad was crazy.
In high school, 17, 18, I started smoking weed. I thought I was too cool. I meet this boy, he's like my first real boyfriend. These are my prescription drugs, you can have one, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's fine. They're not a big deal. And I instantly fell in love with it.
Some of the white guys that I played football with, we'd take a couple of pills of speed, we'd drink quarts of beer and all of that. So we'd kick it, drink a little bit, smoke a little weed, and get high and laugh. But that was the gateway. That was the beginning of it, though.
The second phase is the misuse of the substance. A person in this stage is lowering their inhibitions and beginning to experiment with substances that might be illegal or simply taken in a way that is not prescribed. Impairment is likely, and the risk of harm increases to themselves and to others.
Alcohol and cannabis, it made me feel comfortable in my skin. I felt a sense of community. As we got older and the drugs got heavier, they grew into different things, into more and more and more.
The euphoria I felt, it took me away from all the voices in my head and the not feeling good enough and not measuring up. It made everything better. So I thought.
One thing led to another, and I tried marijuana and got sick a couple times on that. And I got with a guy that we were doing cocaine on the weekends and that kind of thing. But then he's like, here, try this. That person that claimed that they loved me started me on crack cocaine.
Once a month, we'd have a long change where you'd get 7 days off in a row. We would just hook up together and go and get these drugs. And before you know it, it became a habit. You know, it's out of control. My focus was on just working and getting high. Work, drink, get high. Work, drink, get high.
I would find creative ways to sneak alcohol into school and just sip on it during class. There were days where I'd miss school because I was too messed up from the night before and couldn't even wake up to, get dressed. And I'd just sleep through my alarm and not even go to school that day. I ended up getting kicked out of school. As soon as I turned 17, I got my GED and then got introduced to the factory crowd, and that was a whole nother can of worms, man.
The third phase is tolerance. Once a person has misused a substance long enough, their brain adjusts to it. It becomes harder to get the same feelings, so the person tries new, harder drugs, or takes more of the drug to compensate.
Got to a point where I needed more and more. I couldn't get what I needed out of a little bit, and then more and more. I needed more drugs. I needed more alcohol to get the same feeling.
It wasn't long after that I started realizing that I needed more of that to keep me at a level of being okay. Progressing to harder drugs was natural to me.
The fourth phase is dependence. In this phase, the person's body has adjusted to the substance to the point that they need that drug to feel normal, and not having that drug causes pain. Attempts to stay sober result in major withdrawal symptoms that can be very difficult for someone to endure on their own. So the importance of a long-term rehab facility to break the cycle increases.
I was down to 105 pounds, just, skeletal. I think I lasted 2 days on one Snickers. I was getting down to nothing. And you could just see in my face, I just look empty.
You started feeling like if you didn't have it, you didn't feel right. I needed it. I had to have it, or I didn't feel normal. And that's got a lot to do with the endorphins being released out of the brain. You just keep getting numbed out, and you can't feel, and just getting disoriented, and you can't think, can't function. Put more, trying to get that good feeling.
The fifth phase is addiction. The substance is now the most important thing in this person's life. Efforts to break away from the substance use disorder cycle are extremely difficult at this stage.
I would try to not use. I tried moving, I tried having different friends, I tried, the geographical change. Everything I tried failed miserably, and I'd always told myself that I would never do it again. The dealer would come over to the house, and all he would have to do is show me the drugs. Just like that, I would cave. And then I would kick my own butt the next day, and I would think, God, I'm such a loser. And I sunk into this abyss.
When you're addicted to drugs, you're caught. And it feels like you're in a vice, and, nothing goes right. My parents took away my kids, and then I got an aggravated DUI, and the state took away my younger two. My middle sister, the doctor, she, always felt sorry for me because she's seen what I had to go through. Her husband said, it's going to be a divorce if you give her any more money. Sister cut me off.
I didn't think I had a problem until my very last relapse, when I realized I'm not in control. I lost my job because I was doing so many drugs. I'm just like a walking zombie. I ended up stealing all the time. The amount that I stole, the jewelry that was taken from my mom, but you're not thinking about that when you just want to get high,
The sixth phase is relapse. A person may desire to find recovery, but struggle to stay consistent and committed to not using the substance. They may go to a rehab facility multiple times in an effort to break the cycle of substance use disorder, only to fall back into it.
I came home after treatment in 91 and lasted a couple weeks and relapsed, and I was out there for 4 straight days.
I had a lot of resentment at first because I didn't understand. I thought, my God, if you want to stop, just stop. And I stayed sober for a period of time, and then I started doing prescription drugs, sleeping pills, nerve pills, Valium, antidepressants. So I was just doing the medications for a while, but eventually I started drinking with that again.
Took all the money I had saved up for the house, went out and did all that. And I couldn't stop. When I started, I couldn't stop. And I destroyed everything one more time.
Like, I would tear everything down, and then I would get sobered up, build some stuff up, feel better about myself, feel so good that I would think that I don't have to continue to do the things that were making me feel better. And then eventually drugs and alcohol would start seeping back in, and then I'd just tear everything down again. And it was a continuous cycle that's followed me through the majority of my life.
When someone breaks out of the cycle of substance use disorder, we call this recovery. The stories we are going to share prove that, while it can be difficult, the road to recovery can be found here in Vermilion County.
It starts with us saying, this is a problem. I want it to change. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't your fault. This is about you. What do you want to do next? Because it shouldn't be about being forced or directed. It's got to be about what you want.
There's always hope. You may not think so today, but there is hope. And there's always somebody who's there for you, who's got your back, be it your family, be it the recovery centers, be it the hospitals, be it the nurses, the doctors, whatever it takes to get them where you need to be.
Fire department's always here 24/7, but if you or someone that is struggling with drug abuse, make sure you try and take care of it beforehand, before we have to show up and have to take care of it.
You only have 2 options if you keep continuing down this path. Either you're going to end up dead in the graveyard or you're going to end up in jail. So what can we do to help you break that cycle?
Recovery is possible. Things can get better. No one's recovery looks the same as somebody else's. It can be a long and challenging journey. It will take a lot of work. There'll be some challenges. There may be some setbacks, but recovery is possible, and you can put your life back together again. And there are people in this community, there are people in your family and friend circle who want to help you on your own personal road to recovery.